In the far reaches of the California desert, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the silence is broken only by the wind, there lies a settlement that does not resemble any ordinary town. It is a place spoken of in whispers and legends, a patch of land that many call the last free place in America. It is known as Slab City. To approach Slab City is to watch the familiar world disappear. The polished highways give way to cracked roads, the neatly trimmed lawns of the suburbs vanish into dust, and the sound of order fades into the hum of the desert. What rises from the horizon looks at first like ruins, but upon closer glance, it reveals a living, breathing community stitched together from scraps of hope, creativity, and rebellion. Slab City was not born as a city. Its story begins with the presence of the military during the era of world conflict, when young soldiers trained in the harsh desert and concrete foundations were poured for barracks and command posts. When the battles of the wider world moved on, the camp was abandoned, its buildings dismantled, its fences left to rust. Only the concrete pads, the slabs, remained. Those slabs would one day give the place its name and its soul. At first, they were nothing more than silent witnesses to the desert sun. But slowly, wanderers began to arrive. Travelers in search of a free resting ground parked their trailers on the concrete. Drifters found refuge where no rent was charged. Retirees fleeing the cold winters of the north discovered that here they could park without paying a dime. Out of abandonment, a strange new settlement began to take shape. In time, Slab City became known as a haven for those who did not fit neatly into the boxes of modern society. The disillusioned, the poor, the dreamers, the artists, the homeless, the rebels, all found their way to this patch of desert. What united them was not wealth or politics or religion, but a desire to live outside the fences of conventional life. Life in Slab City is unlike life anywhere else. There is no electricity unless you bring it yourself, no water unless you haul it in plastic tanks, no garbage collection, no mail delivery, no government. Everything is improvised. Trailers run on solar panels patched together from scraps. Water is fetched in barrels from nearby towns. Houses are built from wood and tin, from tires and canvas, from the forgotten materials of the outside world. And yet out of this scarcity has grown a kind of richness. On Saturday nights, the heart of Slab City beats at a place called The Range. Beneath a sky full of desert stars, an open-air stage built from plywood and decorated with string lights comes alive with music. Locals and visitors gather on broken chairs and worn couches to listen. Rock bands, country singers, poets, and dreamers take the stage, their voices rising into the warm night. For a few hours, the hardships of the desert fade, replaced by laughter, rhythm, and community. Art, too, flourishes in the slabs. The most famous creation of all is Salvation Mountain, a bright and colorful hill covered in painted messages of love and faith, built over decades by Leonard Knight. Rising from the sand like a vision, it has become both a landmark and a pilgrimage site, a testament to what one person with persistence and paint can create in the emptiness of the desert. Not far away lies East Jesus, a sprawling outdoor gallery where discarded objects are transformed into sculpture, where junk becomes beauty, and where imagination has no boundaries. But life in Slab City is not only music and art, it is also survival. Summers are brutal, with temperatures climbing so high that many leave, returning only when the heat relents. Those who remain must battle not only the sun, but the loneliness, the scarcity of food, and the dangers that come when law enforcement is far away. There are no police here, no quick ambulance, no fire department. The community polices itself, sometimes with kindness, sometimes with conflict. For some, this freedom is intoxicating. For others, it is terrifying. The people who call Slab City home are as diverse as the desert landscape. There are retirees living out their final years in peace, far from the noise of cities. There are veterans who carry the invisible wounds of war and find in the slabs a place to disappear. There are families with nowhere else to go, living in patched trailers and raising children in the dust. There are artists, poets, and musicians drawn by the promise of a life unchained. And there are those fleeing something, the law, addiction, or the ghosts of their past. Together, they form a fragile community, not bound by laws or taxes, but by necessity. They share water, trade goods, watch each other's backs. They argue, they fight, they reconcile. In Slab City, neighbors matter, because neighbors may be the difference between surviving the desert and being swallowed by it. From the outside, many see Slab City as lawless, dangerous, a place of poverty and crime. And in truth, it has its shadows. Drugs circulate, violence erupts, fires sweep through shacks and trailers. The desert takes lives. Yet within those shadows are moments of extraordinary generosity. A stranger fixing another's broken generator, a neighbor sharing the last gallon of water, a community rallying to help when someone falls ill. The outside world has often been fascinated by Slab City. Journalists write about it as though it were another planet. Filmmakers have brought their cameras, most famously in the film Into the Wild, which captured the spirit of this unusual place and introduced it to millions around the globe. Tourists sometimes arrive in rented cars, wandering through Salvation Mountain, snapping photographs of East Jesus, marveling at a society so free and yet so fragile. But to those who live here, it is not a curiosity, it is home. What does it mean to live in Slab City? To some, it means absolute liberty, the chance to live without rules, to craft your own destiny on the edge of society. To others, it means desperation, because they have nowhere else to turn. In truth, it is both. Slab City is a mirror held up to America's dreams and its failures, a place where the search for freedom collides with the harsh reality of the desert. And yet, in spite of its challenges, Slab City endures. Each winter, when the desert cools, snowbirds return, retirees in caravans roll in, artists unpack their paints, musicians tune their guitars. The slabs fill with voices, with stories, with a strange and chaotic harmony. And when the summer heat returns, many depart, leaving only the stubborn and the desperate behind, waiting for the cycle to begin again. Slab City is not utopia, nor is it hell. It is something far more human, a community born from abandonment, living on the edge of survival, where freedom is as real as the desert sun and just as unforgiving. To walk among the trailers and the art, to sit at the range on a Saturday night, to climb Salvation Mountain and see the painted words of love shining against the desert sky, is to understand why this place continues to draw dreamers. It is not comfort they seek, but something deeper. It is the chance to live life on their own terms, no matter the cost. Slab City stands as both inspiration and warning. It shows the beauty of human resilience, creativity, and generosity when stripped of the trappings of modern life. It also shows the harshness of freedom without safety nets, the fragility of community without order. In the end, Slab City is not just a place on a map. It is an idea, etched into the desert sand. The idea that somewhere, beyond the reach of government and society, people can carve out their own existence. That freedom, raw and imperfect, can still be found. Whether one sees it as paradise or as chaos, Slab City remains. A place of color in the barren desert. A last refuge for those with nowhere else to go. A reminder that even in the harshest of landscapes, humanity will find a way to build, to create, to connect, and to dream. This is Slab City, the last free place.